Go ahead.
So we're talking about your son Roy. And you still sing, practice and sing often?
My son Raymond, we before COVID, we were getting together every week, and that would be my sister Linda and my other sister Mary, Raymond, and my nieces and nephews, and they all decided they wanted to learn to dance bird songs, the nieces and nephews.
I see.
And sing bird songs.
Yeah.
So before COVID, we were singing every week for about 3 months. So we would get together and practice.
Yeah.
And then started to practice peon with Lloyd's peon songs.
Yeah.
My Uncle Lloyd.
Peon songs, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just quite a player. I was wondering, did you ever sing those Bighorn Sheep Songs?
When we get together, we sat with my family and I said, these are your grandpa Louis Marcus songs. Macario Marcus, my great-grandpa, or great-grandpa. Grandpa Louis, and then Lloyd sang those. And Ernie gave me some tapes many years ago, and he was generous to share those with me, and started to learn and started to sing with Ernie, with you. And then, so we started to learn several of the Bighorn Sheep songs that it was really special to them. They didn't know about it.
Yeah. I'd never really heard it before. Lloyd had to tape, made a tape of them, as you mentioned. And I was just thinking, he and his father would sing every Friday or so, and they'd probably sing those too. I was just wondering if you were around whenever they sang. You lived, that was in Banning in Morocco. Did you ever see them or hear them or join them at that time?
He lived with my Uncle Lloyd and my Auntie Tina, and my father would take us several times to listen to my Grandpa Louis sing those songs. I didn't understand what they were about at the time, what exactly songs there were about. I just knew there were Bighorn sheep, but I didn't know exactly what it derived from. And my Grandpa Louis would try to explain a little bit of the time when I was there, but I didn't understand at the time because I couldn't comprehend, couldn't make sense of it. But I remember him several times. One time that we went there, watching him sing with my Uncle Lloyd, and that inspired something inside of me to want to be a singer. And then listening to my Uncle Lloyd sing, my step grandpa Raymond Kalak and Ella Kalak, and then you singing with Albino when they were practicing learning bird songs, when they were getting together to sing with young kids like myself to learn bird songs.
That's right. Yeah.
That's what inspired me. So all you elders inspired me.
Yeah, I had never really, as I say, heard much about them. And you mentioned the Kalaks. Raymond was saying that he saw it, he heard them sung at Morocco, and he said it was so beautiful. He was really moved by it. He said whoever was singing, I didn't ask him who it was that sang. He said he got up, he did dance, but he had the rattle on his leg. And I didn't really remember what else he said about that, but those would have been sung, I think, for sure, when they had the nuku, that week-long ceremony where they sing every night, and the guests would come on the weekend, and Morocco would go to Palm Springs the next year to do the same thing, be guests for them, and there at Palm Springs was hosted. And I think I only went once down there, but at Morocco I think I twice. But we couldn't stay the whole week. I mean, young adults could go in the nighttime and spend the night, however long maybe they sang all night. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But those songs probably were sung during that week. I was thinking, especially, I made a big special deal out of it because it's telling our story and how the animal came to be. Just like I was thinking, the collapse, we're talking about their songs, how the plants were people before and were changed. And I don't know if I didn't talk to them about that, but in this case, it said the Creator said, who would become the bighorn sheep? I mean, we need songs, we need people, we need this animal for the people, for food and for clothes and whatever they did use it. And so like either plant or family, but a group would say, we'll do it, and we'll become that animal. And so they were changed. The songs talk about how they different things about characteristics about the animal. And by the end of the last song, and who knows how long that was, it took them to sing them all, that they would open the door, and when they would go out of the big house, they were already wild. And they said, don't sit by the door because you would get kicked.
Yeah.
And, so they would mention that, just joking, don't get kicked. But I never heard them, sung like that at a feast. And it was just, we were lucky that your grandpa Louis kept singing. And I guess there were more, but at least we had like a dozen or so. Yeah. And I don't sing them enough. As you get in the mood and start singing, then you can start singing more than one. But I shared them with my cousin's son, my niece's son, sort of. And he, I don't know how he's doing now. That is, he learned, he has a nice voice, and we sang at the gala, one time. I don't know what year that was. And anyway, that was special to have that spread. Otherwise, they're gone. These cassettes. A lot of are lost and so on. So if you share them with another someone in the family, and who knows, they'll pick it right up. Just like you did. You started singing and learning from your uncle and grandpa, and your dad ever sing?
My dad didn't sing very much. He was really shy, didn't go out like my Uncle Lloyd, because he always referred to my Uncle Lloyd as the one that carried a lot of the songs and the stories, because he'd always say, well, go ask your Uncle Lloyd, your Grandpa Louis. And I was always afraid of my Grandpa Louis because I always felt intimidated a little bit, but he was really nice, but I thought he was a powerful person,
Yeah.
So when you gave me the songs, and that was back in the 90s, I believe, and he shared them with me. And so I started listening to my Grandpa Louis in the back, because you could barely hear his voice with Lloyd. Lloyd was prominent singing the Bighorn Sheep Songs. And then every part you can hear my Grandpa Louis in the back. He said, I remember remember his voice, and it kind of teared me up a little bit because, you know, it's just, I just remember how he was and his voice, you know.
Yeah.
And how that now my son Raymond has learned them really well.
That's good.
You know, and I said, you know, your uncle, I call you my uncle. My uncle Ernie gave these to us, so we need to learn those to honor him. So he, when I pass, he knows a lot of the songs.
Oh, that's great.
But he wants to know if he's singing them correctly as far as the language is concerned.
Yeah.
So, and I said, well, I'm not the expert, so, you know.
But as long as you have that recording, it's there, you know, just refer to it, just refresh your mind, your memory. And that's about all you can do, but that's what we're expected to do, you know. My great grandfather said, no, never forget your language. He was telling people they were going to change. They were changing, like we all change. You have to work to change. You have to be serious, work at it, because that's what we're told to do, to become, learn a new way.